All right, class. Welcome back to Madden Ability University. Last class, we broke down quarterback passing power abilities, the abilities that make the ball come out faster, hit harder, and feel smoother. But today, we're talking about a different question. What happens when your quarterback is putting the ball in the right place or missing throws he should make? That brings us to the accuracy family. This is the Deadeye class. And this is one of the most misunderstood ability groups in Madden, because a lot of players hear the word Deadeye and think every one of these abilities is basically doing the same thing. That is not true. Some Deadeyes are tied to where you are standing. Some are tied to where you are throwing. Some are tied to whether you are moving. And some are so situational that they sound way better than they actually play. So today we are breaking down the major QB accuracy abilities: pocket Deadeye, inside Deadeye, sideline Deadeye, dashing Deadeye, roaming Deadeye, and the more niche Deadeyes like long range, lofting, and red zone. And before we even touch the individual abilities, here is the big idea for the whole class. Accuracy abilities should not be chosen by hype. They should be chosen by what kind of throws live inside your offense. If your offense attacks the middle, you should not evaluate abilities the same way as somebody who lives on corner routes and sideline throws. If you are a pocket passer, you should not evaluate abilities the same way as somebody who rolls out half the game. That is the framework. We're not just asking, is this ability good? We are asking, what problem does this ability solve? And does my offense actually have that problem? That is how you stop wasting AP. So, let's start with one of the cleanest and easiest abilities in the whole category, pocket Deadeye. Because if you are the type of player who wants to stand in there, read it out, and throw on time, this ability is speaking directly to you. Let's start with pocket Deadeye. Pocket Deadeye rewards a quarterback for doing what traditional quarterbacks are supposed to do: stand in the pocket and deliver the football accurately. That is why this ability is so easy to understand. It is not asking you to roll out. It is not asking you to target one narrow part of the field. It is not asking you to throw off platform. It is telling you, if you play from the pocket, I will reward you with cleaner ball placement. And that matters more than some players think. Because in MUT, a lot of bad outcomes are not just about throw power or release speed. Sometimes the ball is simply not placed where it needs to be. That can turn a clean read into a breakup or a possession catch into an ugly animation. Pocket Deadeye is built for the player who wants consistency. Best fits: pocket passers, rhythm passers, timing-based offenses, players who like to climb the pocket instead of bailing backwards, players who want their quarterback to feel calm and controlled. Now here is where we make the important distinction. Pocket Deadeye is about where you are. Not where the receiver is, not where the throw is going, where you are. So if you're standing in the pocket, great. If you're drifting, rolling, escaping, freelancing, now you are moving away from what this ability is built to reward. That is why I like pocket Deadeye for disciplined players. This ability has a coaching quality to it. It rewards structure, it rewards order, it rewards not panicking. My verdict on pocket Deadeye: very strong, very clean, and one of the safest accuracy abilities for a true pocket player. But now let's shift from where the quarterback is standing to where the ball is actually being thrown, because that is where inside Deadeye changes the conversation. Inside Deadeye is not really asking, are you in the pocket? It is asking, are you attacking the middle of the field? Now let's talk about inside Deadeye and sideline Deadeye together, because these two are natural rivals. Inside Deadeye is for throws inside the numbers. That means if your offense lives on posts, slants, seams, digs, glance routes, end breakers, middle field reads, inside Deadeye starts sounding really attractive. This ability is built for players who attack the heart of the defense. And that matters because the middle of the field is where a lot of Madden games are won and lost. It is where user lurkers live. It is where tight window timing throws have to be right. It is where a slightly off throw can get your receiver hit immediately or put the ball in danger. So if your offense is built around attacking space between the hashes, inside Deadeye makes a ton of sense. Now let's flip it. Sideline Deadeye is for throws outside the numbers. That means outs, corners, fades, boundary throws, hole shots, sideline timing routes. This ability is for the player who wants to stay away from middle lurks and stress the edges of the coverage. And let's be honest, a lot of MUT players naturally drift towards sideline offense anyway. That is why sideline Deadeye can feel so useful. It lines up with how people actually call plays. Now here is the real strategy question. Would you rather have one broad pocket ability or location-based help depending on where your offense attacks? Pocket Deadeye rewards structure. Inside Deadeye rewards middle field offense. Sideline Deadeye rewards boundary offense. So this is not just about best ability. This is about offensive identity. If you are a player who throws everywhere, Pocket Deadeye is simpler. If your offense clearly favors one area of the field, the location-based Deadeyes may fit better. My verdict? Inside Deadeye and sideline Deadeye can both be extremely strong, but only if your route concepts and reads actually live in those areas. And now we move to the mobile side of the classroom, because some of y'all are not standing still at all. That means we need to talk about Dashing Deadeye and Roaming Deadeye. Now we get to the mobile quarterback section, Dashing Deadeye and Roaming Deadeye. These two abilities sound similar, but they are not the same thing, and if players confuse them, they can waste AP fast. Let's start with Dashing Deadeye. Dashing Deadeye is built for throws on the run. That means this is for the quarterback who is moving, escaping, rolling, sprinting out, or improvising outside of structure and still wants clean accuracy. So if your whole style is built around rollout pressure, off-platform throws, scrambling to buy time, changing launch points, and mobile QB chaos, Dashing Deadeye is speaking your language. But here is the catch. If you are not actually throwing on the run consistently, you are paying for a style you do not use. That is why Dashing Deadeye can be dangerous in the wrong hands. It sounds cool. It looks exciting. It feels like a mobile QB cheat code. But if you only leave the pocket a few times a game, that AP may not be doing enough for you. Now, Roaming Deadeye is different. Roaming Deadeye is not really about sprinting and firing. It is more about escaping the pocket, resetting yourself, and then throwing accurately while outside the pocket. That distinction matters a lot. So think of it this way. Dashing Deadeye equals movement thrower. Roaming Deadeye equals escape, settle, and throw. One is chaos in motion, the other is controlled improvisation. That means Roaming Deadeye is often better for players who leave the pocket but still want to gather themselves before making the read. My verdict? Dashing Deadeye is for true scrambler gameplay. Roaming Deadeye is for players who break the structure but still want to play under control. Neither one is bad, but both become overrated if you are really a pocket player pretending to be a backyard quarterback. And that brings us to the final part of class, the niche Deadeyes, the common mistakes, and the overall ranking. Let's close class with the niche Deadeyes, the mistakes, and the final ranking. This is where players can get baited. Abilities like long-range Deadeye, lofting Deadeye, and red zone Deadeye sound useful because the names make them feel important. Everybody wants better deep balls. Everybody wants better red zone offense. Everybody wants specialty accuracy when the game gets tight. But specialty abilities have a cost. They solve narrower problems. And that is why I usually trust the broader Deadeyes first. If I can give value on common throws all game long, that is usually better than saving an ability for one area of the field or one style of throw. Now let's talk common mistakes. Mistake number 1, players choose an ability because the name sounds powerful, not because it matches their offense. Mistake number 2, players pick rollout abilities even though they are mostly pocket passers. Mistake number 3, players ignore where they actually attack the field. If you throw inside all game, inside Deadeye matters more. If you live outside the numbers, sideline Deadeye matters more. Now here is my class ranking. Top tier, pocket Deadeye, inside Deadeye, sideline Deadeye. Why? Because they solve real, common, gameplay problems, and fit real offensive identities. Next tier, Roaming Deadeye and Dashing Deadeye. These can be very dangerous, but only if your playstyle truly matches them. Situational tier, Long Range Deadeye, Lofting Deadeye, Red Zone Deadeye. Useful sometimes. Not the first place I am spending AP. So the big lesson is simple. Do not ask whether a Deadeye sounds good. Ask, where am I throwing? How am I throwing? What kind of quarterback am I really using? Once you answer that, the category makes sense. Pocket, inside, sideline, on the run, outside the pocket. That is the map. For more breakdowns like this, link in bio. Class dismissed.